Colleen, welcome back to CTV Morning Live. Good to see you again.
Always good to be here.
Excellent. So we're talking about the pros and cons for renting to kick things off. What are some of the pros of renting?
So there are many pros in regards to the fact that if you think about it, in the fact that you don't own the property, so you don't usually have to maintain the property.
Fair enough.
So there are fewer maintenance costs, right? And you don't usually have to pay the taxes, right? Every contract in real estate for renting is different, yet you don't usually have to pay the taxes.
Okay.
And so you have to kind of look at that. And so when you think about no taxes and you think about lower maintenance, then you've got less stress, right?
This doesn't belong to me. Call up a landlord. Excuse me, can we have this fixed, please?
Yeah, exactly, right? So you get the opportunity there to be able to just live less stress, who cares kind of thing. Now, obviously, we want every renter to be respectful to their landlord, yet there really is a lot of freedom for you to do what you need to do. It might be, I'm just going to rent because I'm going to live away for a certain amount of time. I'm going to live at the cottage. I'm going to have the opportunity to go down south during 6 months of the year. So I really don't want to have to mow the lawn and maintain that. So there is a lot of freedom in that.
And so I'm noticing the points on the screen. There's like less commitment. You can move with enough notice, no risk in case your home depreciates, and money can be used for other investments, which is also awesome as well.
Exactly. So when you look at the rent per month, depending on, again, your agreement, you might be able to just leverage yourself to more vacations, more investment, and really kind of have a carefree life.
All right.
So it's really important to look at the black and white on the contract.
Certainly. How about some of those cons, the negative part of renting?
There are some cons with renting, and I would say that the biggest thing would be usually, especially here in Ottawa, as we've heard time and time again, we have a lack of inventory, and rental here in Ottawa has been excessively high. So your monthly costs per month just to pay for rent may exceed what a mortgage is.
Yeah, we have been seeing that. You're right.
Right? And then also, when you don't own the house, you don't have that wealth. You don't have that ownership.
The investment
that comes along with it, right? And a lot of people are like, well, I'm like mortgage free, I'm rent, except you don't have that investment that a lot of people, you need that credit.
Yeah, and find you on.
Absolutely.
All right, we're talking about the pros and cons of renting versus buying. Now we're on to buying a home. What are some of the pros there?
So the obvious one is you own it.
It's mine.
It's yours. So you have the opportunity to build your credit, build your wealth, because it is yours. And I always, you're not feeding someone else's pocketbook.
Right.
You are feeding your own. So it also, you have the opportunity to make it your own.
That's huge too.
So the one thing that that renters, if they want to paint a room or if they want to move a wall, that's usually not an option. You take it as is, and if the deck is not good, you deal with the deck not good. You're not happy with the finishes, that's yours.
Yeah.
Where, if you want to finish a kitchen, and a kitchen doesn't have to be expensive. We talk about it all the time with our audiences out here today. You don't have to do an expensive kitchen. You can make it your own and choose. If you want a fuchsia kitchen,
you can have a fuchsia kitchen,
have
folks.
a fuchsia kitchen. Not so much if you are renting.
It's so true. I remember I was renting my condo in Calgary, and I was like, I'm not going to hang any pictures. I got to patch up these holes if I ever move, and then you make all those decisions based on the fact that it's not yours.
And it really is a retirement nest egg, right? I know a lot of people talk about, investing, stuff like that. Yet a home really allows you to grow your wealth in a certain way
Yeah.
that allows you to build that wealth so that you decide if you want to retire in Muskokas, Florida, whatever you wish.
Yeah.
Now you have your nest egg.
Okay. How about the cons with buying a home?
So there are some.
Right.
There are some. It's the fact that there is some maintenance, right? We talk about the fact that there is maintenance. Homes could lose value. The one thing that I always tell our audience today is the fact it is a long-term plan
Yes.
when you buy a home. So it's not a 1 or 2 year, unlike renting, which usually is 1 or 2 year, and you could even lose your
Right.
rental because they decide to sell. This is a long-term decision.
Certainly. And maintenance, we're not talking about just cutting the grass here. We're talking about things like, okay, after 10 years, maybe replacing the shingles at an expense.
Yep.
Maybe there's a crack in the foundation that you should be taking care of. Things like that, that sometimes people forget to budget for that rainy day.
Well, and that's really important. And one thing, and I love that you brought that up, because on my team and when I work with my home buyers, is the fact that, we never want anybody to be house poor, right?
Right.
You need to budget so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. And so you need to budget for those things. You may have to replace the windows, right? And you're also tied to that house. You can't leave it vacant.
Right.
You could potentially rent it out in the future, which is another pro, yet it is still yours and it has to be maintained. Because people, when you go to sell it and it looks like it's not maintained, you will lose value. And buyers definitely feel that. So a home really needs to be properly maintained. Floor, windows, furnace, AC, roof, right?
Yeah.
So there is a condition there as well.
We're out of time, so I want to pop up that list one more time so people can see the full range of the cons there. Of course, the long-term commitment you mentioned, total housing payment can be more expensive and your mortgage payment can rise. We've seen that with the Bank of Canada, what they've been doing with interest rates, and the people who were variable and didn't lock in, and they're like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
It's risen so much. Colleen, Lyle, thank you so much for being with us. Always appreciate your expertise here on CTV Morning Live. And again, you can always reach out to TrinityStone Realty. The office number is 613-417-3599. The website, TrinityStoneRealty.com.